Hello, powerful professionals. This is TK Daniels, and I'm coming to you today to talk about balance. Now, balance is important to me, and I've made it my life's work now to help others to quiet the chaos in their life and to create balance because my life and my story of imbalance is hugely important to me. And I want to share that with you. I want to start off today by talking about my imbalance and why it's important to me to, help the world or help those who are imbalanced create that balance in their life. Now, I worked many years in corporate America. Well over 30 years in corporate America for some fast-paced, fantastic Fortune 500 companies. And in doing so, for many reasons, I thought that I had to be the best. I had to outshine others, and that I had to even be better than my last best in order to maintain my status or the status that I was chasing. I thought that I had to work the longest, the hardest, which was not necessarily the smartest in chasing that unachievable, perfect person I set out to be. Now, I thought my career would be in jeopardy if I did not outperform, outshine, and show the world that I was the best. I was afraid of others' judgment of me and my performance, and I wanted to be at work the first one there, the last one to leave, the person who didn't take the lunch or the breaks, and I was doing that unconsciously. I didn't set out to not take a lunch and not take a break, but I thought that, let me go ahead and work through my lunches, stay later than necessary so that I can finish a project or just to quiet the chaos that was going on in my own head. Now, I later realized that the judgments that I was running from and the microscope that I was under, I was holding that microscope. The judgments were placed on me by me. And that's not a way that that's not how I want the professionals that I come in contact with. I want to let you know that that is not necessary, that your judgments, the judgments of yourself and the microscope that you have yourself under, is probably causing a lot of chaos in your world. Not only was my professional life unbalanced, but my personal life, my spiritual life, my life as a whole, it was all unbalanced because I was trying to be that perfect person. And in doing so, I pushed my body, I pushed my mind, I pushed myself to go, go, go. Sometimes I think I forgot that I was human because I pushed myself sometimes on 2 and 3 hours of sleep. A good night for me was sleeping 5 hours, and that was like, I felt as though I had gained a full day of rest when I slept 5 hours. What I didn't realize, and what was later proven to me, is that I was pushing my body to the point of failure. So the realization came on a day where I had worked a long, over 12-hour shift, and I was planning to go home and work some more. I missed another family function, and when I got home, my body shut down. I felt like I just needed to lay down for just a few minutes because I've never felt so tired before. My heart was racing for no reason because I was sitting on the couch. My whole left side, my arm was numb. And then when I went to stand up, my leg was numb, and I could barely walk. I asked my daughter to help me get upstairs so that I could go lay down. I've never felt this tired before in my life. What I didn't realize is that I was having a stroke. I was having a stroke because I had pushed my body to the point of break. And when my daughter insisted, she was 15 at the time, that I go to the emergency room. She wouldn't rest. She wouldn't help me upstairs. I couldn't make it upstairs by myself because I wanted to lay down. Once we got to the emergency room and they told me that I was having a stroke, the doctor later told me that had I gone upstairs and laid down, I probably wouldn't have gotten back up. And from that point, I was off work for 6 months because my mind, I lost the ability to take thoughts from here to here. I lost the ability to speak fluently. When I was in the emergency room at one point, what I was saying, I saw it clearly in my mind, almost like it was on a chalkboard, written out in white. I could see what I wanted to say, but the words were coming out backwards. And it was at that point that I became very fearful. And I realized something is really wrong. But even with that realization, I did not stop thinking about work. While I was in the emergency room and they were taking precautions with the medicines they give me because I have a corn allergy, I was thinking about work. Because after a while, and they gave me some medicines and I started to feel better. The only thing I could think about is I still have time to go home and finish this project that I was working on. When I took the MRIs, and by the time I got out of the hospital a few days later, that's when I started to realize that I can't communicate. Now, I'm a writer. And the fact that my thought process, the rate of speech is very slow, has been taken from me. And it was in those 6 months. And mind you, the first 5 of those 6 months, I was rushing to get back to work. When I would see my doctor, I hid the fact that I could not speak the same way that I did. I hid the fact that when I would come in the house and reach for the light switch on the right-hand side, and it's been on the left-hand side probably since the house was built, because ever since I've been here, I hid that from my doctor. I hid the fact that I would take a bite of sandwich and chew that same bite for about an hour and a half until my daughter looked at me and asked me, "Are you hungry?" I said, "I'm hungry." So what's in your mouth? And I showed her. She says, "Mommy, you have to swallow that." I hid the fact from my doctor that my brain was not communicating to my mouth and my throat and all the working parts of my body that you have to finish the function. I didn't tell my doctor. I was sitting at a light and the light would turn green. And I'm sorry, the light would, turn green. I'm sitting at a red light. And I would just sit there. And my daughter would say, "Mommy, you have to go." I would hear the people blowing behind me, going around me, putting up their fist and their happy little God bless you signs. Like, "Lady, what are you doing?" But I never told my doctor that I'm struggling because I was looking forward to getting back in the office. It wasn't until I started dealing with a therapist that highlighted or that pointed out to me, "You're in real trouble. The stroke is over, but you still are in real trouble. Your mindset needs to be fixed. You need to change the way that you're functioning. And my doctor had already told me that when you have these type of strokes, that you are high risk for having a second one. So I was not aware, because I had been used to functioning on an imbalanced schedule with an imbalanced life and listening to the chaos. I allowed the chaos to run my life, and I followed it. Now, when chaos is going on in your life, I later realized that the chaos is not caused from the outside world. Now, there may be chaos going on out there, but the chaos that's going on within me, within my mind, within my spirit, within my soul, and in my body, it's the chaos that I'm allowing in. And so those 6 months that I was sitting at home, laying at home, healing, that's when I got still, because I could not communicate. My rate of speech had been taken away. I could not string together a sentence as fluently as I had in the past, or even half that rate. It would take me a long time to communicate. Then I realized that, it's funny when it's time for you to be still, and when God needs your attention, He will get it. I knew that my mission on this earth was not over. And that's why probably led to me pushing myself. But the gifts that you've been given, the gift that I was given, the gift of life, the gift of this body, the gift of this mind, this soul, this mouth that I am here to deliver this message, that those gifts are precious. And I was taking them for granted. I was taking for granted that I would just be around forever. And I was focused on the chaos, and I wasn't creating the balance in my life. So my mission now, whenever I go into a place of business, into a restaurant, I took my car in for servicing, and I could see that the young lady in there was stressed. There were a lot of people at the counter. Everyone was, drawing from her attention, and I could see her stress level. And I just took a few minutes and I expressed the importance of creating that balance and quieting the chaos. Now, there are several ways that you can quiet the chaos, and there's several important ways that you can keep that chaos from entering your world. Yes, it's happening, but how do you deal with it? And so I just wanted to come on today, and because the balance is so important, not only is it important to you and your life and your health and your well-being, but it's important to those who are around you, those who love you, those who are counting on you, not only to be there to supply their needs, their pay the mortgage and take care of that, but also those that love you, the people that's going to be distraught if you were taken out of here before your time. And this is when I was still, when I was healing, and I had to allow my mind to heal. When that was happening, that's when I was quiet. It's amazing what happens when you're quiet, when you have no choice but to be quiet, how God speaks to you, how the universe supplies the message that you need to hear. And it was in those moments, I was almost finished writing my book, and I was frustrated initially that I did not even have the mental capacity to sit at a computer. If I'm not at work, I still wanted to be working, because that's how I had trained my mind to think. So I was frustrated with myself initially until I got with my therapist and then some mentors, and they guided me down my path of healing. Now, my doctor Later, through my therapist's help, eventually found out, wow, you're really in trouble. You're really in trouble. You're not as well as I show up in our appointments, our 15 minutes, and when he asked me, how are you doing? I would say, fine. Can I go back to work? But my doctor's really smart. He knew that there was something amiss. So he would ask me certain questions, ask me to do certain tests, and then he would say, not yet. And I remember leaving his office crying because I was ready to go back to work 2 weeks later. But when God's ready for you to be still, he sat me down. Actually, he laid me down. And it was during that process that I gained clarity. And I learned that I am important. I am important enough to do the work to quiet the chaos that was going on in my life. And then I strive every day to create balance. And it's important to me because now that I'm on this mission, ever since I've been on this mission, I look at work differently. Because if you are not well enough to take care of you, how are you taking care of others? So next week, I will be on vacation. However, we still need to create balance. So tune in next week. It will be Tuesday, August the 1st. And I will post the time right now. I'm looking at 8 o'clock. I will be on vacation. But we're going to talk about balancing with fun. With fun and with relaxation. So tune in next week and we will talk more about creating that balance, quieting that chaos, getting it out of your world, making sure that you are in tune with you so that you can fulfill your mission. Thank you so much for watching. God bless. I hope this worked. You can turn the TV back on.